Whew, all right, let's talk stimulus checks, right? It's the top of everybody's mind. It's the one of the biggest pieces to this $2.2 trillion coronavirus stimulus package. Um, Everybody's talking about it. Everybody wants to know, how does it affect me? How much am I going to get? When am I going to get it? Yada, yada, yada. All those questions are at the top of everybody's mind. So I'd like to break it down um, in a digestible, understandable form for you to truly know and to truly understand what all this means for you. So, who's gonna get it? Um, Basically, these stimulus checks, the eligibility for these stimulus checks does cover a mass majority of our country's population. Um, it basically, if you are working in the United States, if you are eligible to work in the United States, not necessarily a citizen, but you're here like on a work visa or green card holder or whatever, you are eligible. Now, of course, there's certain income limitations and some phase out rules and on how much you're going to get and how it gets calculated, but I'll go into that in just a moment. But basically, the majority of Americans are initially eligible to receive the stimulus checks. So when is this going to happen? When can you expect this money? As of last week, the IRS, if the IRS has your information, meaning if you filed a tax return in the last few years, you'll be sent the stimulus check, the money that's due to you within 3 weeks. Now, you will get that money via direct deposit if you have received a tax refund via direct deposit in the past. If the IRS does not have that direct deposit information, they will just snail mail you a check. So you'll get a snail mail check at the last known address that the IRS has on file. So if you have recently moved or if your address has changed from your last tax filings, there are resources that I will get posted on our Terra social media platforms for you to update that information so that you can ensure that you're going to get your stimulus check. So that is when this is happening and how you're going to receive the money. Let's talk about what it entails. So this money is actually considered a credit. It is not considered a loan. You will not have to pay it back. It will not offset any of your income in the future. It won't have to be a refundable credit or anything like that. It is considered a 2020 tax credit that is not taxable and that does not have to be paid back. You will probably, I'm assuming that on your 2020 tax return, there'll be some sort of a line item or checkbox or something that will indicate how much you received. But that will be for supplemental informational purposes. It will not be taxable income to you. So let's talk about the limitations and the calculation of how much money you're actually going to get. So the baseline is $1,200 per person. And that is calculated on certain income limits. And then if you're above and beyond that income limit, there is a cushion zone where it phases out and you'll just get less of a stimulus check. And then there is the ultimate cap income level where you zero out and you won't get anything from the stimulus check. So that's what we're going to talk about next. So on average, $1,200 per person. And that breaks down to if you are a single filing taxpayer and you make less than $75,000, you will get the full $1,200. If you are a married couple filing a joint tax return, you make less than $150,000 as a married couple, you will get the full $1,200 per person or $2,400 as a couple. If you are a single parent who claims dependents on your return and manage your household and you file as head of household and you earn less than $112,500, you will receive the full $1,200 back as a stimulus check. So let's break that down. Single filing taxpayer earning less than $75,000 gets the full $1,200. Married couple filing jointly making less than $150,000 will get the full $1,200 per person, $2,400 per couple. Head of household, single parent managing a household making less than $112,500, you will get the full $1,200. Now, for each additional child that's in your household, you get an extra $500. So you have 2 kids, that's an extra $1,000. You have 4 kids, that's an extra $2,000. So the average American household, which is made up of 4 individuals, a couple with 2 children, they're eligible for the maximum of $3,400. Family of 4, maximum $3,400. That's $2,400 for the married couple filing jointly, with $500 for each child, or $1,000 for both children. That's $3,400. The caps for income, like basically if you make more than $99,000 as a single filing taxpayer, you're completely phased out. You've completely zeroed out your and you've maxed out your money. So you're not going to get anything for the stimulus check. If you make more than $99,000 as a single filing taxpayer, you will not get a stimulus check. If you make as a married couple filing jointly, if you make more than $198,000, you will not get a stimulus check. So for those people that fall in between the $75,000 and $99,000 for a single taxpayer, and for married couples between $150,000 and $198,000, for that gap, for that space of people, you'll still get a stimulus check, but it will be less than the $1,200 maximum per person. It will be reduced $5 for every $100 of income that exceeds the limit. So for example, as a single filing taxpayer, if you earned $76,000, then your stimulus check is going to only be $1,150. And that is because you earned $1,000 over the limit of $75,000, because you earned $76,000. 76 minus 75 is 1,000. 1,000, excuse me, your payment gets reduced by $5 for every $100 of income that exceeds the limit. And so you're exceeding the limit by 1,000. That's 10 100ths, right? And so basically it's 10 times 5, which is $50, that your stimulus check needs to be reduced by, which is where the final figure of 1,150 comes from. You earn $76,000, your stimulus check is reduced by $50, and you get a total of $1,150. So that's one example, because your payment has to be reduced by $5 for every $100 of income that exceeds the limit. How is this calculated? On what numbers is this calculated? So if you've already filed your 2019 tax return, the checks will be based on that information. If you haven't filed your 2019 tax return, it's fine. You have until July 15th to do so. So if you haven't filed your 2019 return, the information for your stimulus check will be based on your 2018 return. So if you're an individual who's kind of in that gap area between that $75,000 and $99,000 as a single taxpayer, and between $150,000 and $198,000 as a married couple, and your 2019 return, you earned more money. You earned more money in 2019 than in 2018. Then don't file your 2019 return just yet. Hold off on filing your 2019 return so that the stimulus checks can be based on your 2018 return so that you can receive a bigger benefit. And that's really going to factor in only for those people that are kind of in that gap area. So only for those people that are between 75,000 and 99,000 as single and 150 and 198,000 as a married couple filing jointly. How is this going to affect some other people? Well, we talked about even if you're on Social Security, and you don't file a tax return. So there are many people in America that don't necessarily meet the requirements to have to file a tax return every year. Many of those individuals are older citizens that are receiving Social Security. They're still eligible to get a stimulus check even if they haven't filed a tax return because all their information is in the Social Security system. I think we did speak earlier about the disabled veterans. The IRS is working on a system to include them and to get them their money, but that hasn't really been announced yet how they're going to work that and what they're going to do for that. So stay tuned for more information on that. Let's see, if you're just here on a visa, a work visa, if you have a green card, or any kind of work visa such as H-1B, H-2A, you are eligible based on your tax filings. Basically, as long as you have a Social Security number, you should be eligible to apply for these relief payments under the new system that's created by the IRS. So there are some there might be some additional filing requirements for those that are not legal citizens and that are here just on a work visa or on a green card. But more information on that will also come, but it doesn't disqualify you from eligibility. You're still eligible. You just might have an additional filing requirement, like an application requirement. Whereas if you are a legal citizen, you don't have to do anything. You're just going to get the money. Again, this money is not taxable. I'm anticipating that you'll have to report it on your 2020 return some way, somehow. But again, it will not be taxable. It will not be have to be paid back. So one group of individuals that should be on the lookout and that might be affected on the stimulus checks, they might not get it, is if you are past due on any child support payments. So if you owe child support, it is possible that the IRS might reduce the amount you receive for the stimulus check to make up for those past due child support payments. But that really is the only group that I understand from all of this that's going to be affected differently. So keep that in mind if you have child support payments and they are in arrears, that might reduce the amount that you receive in your stimulus check. All right, so that pretty much sums it up. I hope that gives you a good understanding of what the stimulus checks mean for you, how much you're going to get, when you're going to get it, all of that. Feel free to send any additional questions or comments that you may have our way through any one of the digital platforms that Terra Business Solutions does use. Thank you very much.